Today we're going to begin with a very odd story told by Herodotus, one about an Egypt where everything is backwards. I've described this before, but the reason stories are done like this, as a riddle, is because these stories need to be passed down through time without being destroyed by power structures who are trying to hide the truth. In this case, what they're trying to hide are where the original Egyptian pharaohs come from. Is it possible that when Herodotus says everything is backwards in Egypt, what he really means is that the story should be read inverted? That is, the story is really about one thing not mentioned in the entire review, which are the pharaohs. Here's the story. Quote, "Just as the Egyptians have a unique climate and the nature of their river is unlike any other, they have established customs and norms that are different from any other people. Among them, the women haggle in the market while the men stay home weaving. While other peoples weave by pushing the weft up, the Egyptians push it down. Men always carry burdens on their heads, women on their shoulders. Women be standing up, men sitting down. They relieve themselves in their homes, but eat outside in the streets, saying that what is embarrassing but necessary should be hidden away, but what is not shameful may be done in the open. No woman serves as a priest either for a male or female deity. Men serve each and every god. No son is obliged to care for his parents if he does not wish to, but daughters must whether they wish to or not." It's a confusing set of statements, which could have been easily dismissed and proven wrong by just about any merchant who visited Alexandria at the time. And so, why make a list with so many provably wrong, outrageous statements? The question really comes down to whether this is a story about a backward Egypt, or this is a backward story about Egypt. If this is a backward story about Egypt itself, then it should be read backwards, or as I said earlier, more precisely, it should be inverted, not literally, but contextually. For example, if the story is inverted contextually, then the things listed are not actually backwards. They are a description of normal everyday life in Egypt. The other inversion would then relate to the things not mentioned, which are the pharaohs and the descriptions of the pharaohs. What Herodotus had been trying to tell us about the Egyptian pharaohs might shock you. Robert Sepper's video on the Egyptian mummy DNA suggests that pharaohs come from the area we now call Israel. Are these the original Jewish people?
The tombs of ancient Egypt have yielded golden collars and ivory bracelets, but another treasure, human DNA, has proved elusive. Now, scientists have captured sweeping genomic information from Egyptian mummies. It reveals that mummies were closely related to ancient Middle Easterners, hinting that Northern Africans might have different genetic roots from the people south of the Sahara Desert. The study, published on 30 May in Nature Communications, includes data from 90 mummies buried between 1380 BC during Egypt's New Kingdom and AD 425 in the Roman era. The findings show that the mummies' closest kin were ancient farmers from a region that includes present-day Israel and Jordan. Modern Egyptians, by contrast, have inherited more of their DNA from Central Africans. Archaeological discoveries and historical documents suggest close ties between Egypt and the Middle East, but it is very nice that this study has now provided empirical evidence for this at the genetic level, says evolutionary anthropologist Omar Kokuman of the State University of New York at Buffalo.
But by the time we get to Cleopatra, nearly half of her DNA comes from inbreeding, and she marries her brothers. That is a real commitment to genetic purity. Anyway, there is no archaeological evidence that says the Jews were ever slaves in Egypt, and so it makes me wonder if what Herodotus isn't pointing at is the fact that the Jews were not the slaves, but were the rulers. Ashkenazi Jews, for example, also have the highest IQ on the planet. Do they sound like labor or law? Peace out, everyone.